He studied the bejeweled crown, the great floppy ears and elephant's trunk. Ganesh was a king of sorts, some kind of Hindu god, Henry knew. But that was all he knew, really. He leaned closer and saw that Ganesh was squatting on a rat, one with an absurdly long tail wrapped twice around Ganesh's corpulent waist. The exact same lamp, Henry now realized, had been on the motel's office counter. Beneath it had been a bowl of green striped mints and a stack of brochures for some place named the Lucky Caverns. Henry stepped back toward the woman, but she hadn't moved. The television still had not come on. The screen was black, except for a small circle of gray light at the center. So Henry told her not to worry, that he would be fine without it. "Really," he said, "I'll be fine," which made him want to laugh. He would not be fine. "Well, I am Latangi," she said, and she began to spell out the name, though she did so in a sort of nonsense sing-song verse. L as in library, A as in love, T as in telegraph lines flowering above. "I'm sorry," Henry said. "A as in love? There's no—" Yes, yes. The woman raised her hand, smiling. "Latangi," she said again. "Its meaning is slim girl." She laughed. "My father was hopeful, yes, but not wise." Her shoulders swung side to side, as if she were about to dance. Henry tried to smile. The woman reached out and handed him the room key, but he suddenly felt a bit dizzy, dehydrated perhaps, and he dropped the key. When he bent down to retrieve it, he saw that the worn and faded carpet covering the room was printed with an almost invisible purple and black paisley design, and that on her feet, beneath her sari, the woman was wearing gold sandals. Her toenails painted the same pale, glittery blue as her fingernails. "Thank you so much," Henry said, standing, a bit off balance. The woman reached toward him, gently touched his arm, but then Henry felt her grip tighten. "Oh," the woman gasped. "Oh, oh." Henry followed her eyes to the television. On the screen, a mangy dog stood on a dresser, floating in the middle of a flooded street. The houses submerged to the roof lines, the water's surface oily, dappled pink and green. The shot zoomed in so close that Henry could see the dog shaking, struggling to keep its balance on the dresser. Then the images flashed by in a rapid-fire montage of ruin and desperation. A man's body floating face down in the water, his shirt billowing out around him. 2 children hoisted in a yellow bucket from a rooftop to a helicopter. A shirtless old man with a scarred chest and long gray beard squatting on the concrete steps of a house that lay in a heap behind him. A man wading through waist-deep water with a bone-thin old woman, cradled in his arms, the woman's hands and feet dangling in the water. The volume on the television was turned down, but Henry felt as though he could hear the dramatic music that must be accompanying these images, the martial drum beats, the groaning strings, the staccato burst of horns. When the red CNN logo swirled onto the screen, Henry turned to look at the woman, and he saw that she was weeping. "I am terribly, terribly sorry, Mr. Garrett. Your home, yes? You are raised there?" The woman continued crying. "Everything," she said. "Everything." Henry wanted to tell her that he was fine. He wanted somehow to comfort her. "Latangi," he said, trying to pronounce the name just as the woman had pronounced it. "Latangi, yes," she said. "Latangi, But he couldn't think of a way to say it, to explain that he had already managed, before the hurricane, to lose everything. "Yes, it's my home. I've lived there my whole life."